The Feyenoord manager is in talks to take over from Jurgen Klopp, and this is how his side could line up next season. The pursuit for Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool successor may be nearing its end, as Feyenoord's Arne Slot is reportedly set to talk to the Reds about the upcoming managerial vacancy. The Premier League side's long-standing coach will step down in the summer, bringing his time in charge to an end after nearly 9 years. Following the announcement of his intention to leave earlier this year, Liverpool have been linked with several high-profile managers in their quest to replace the German. The likes of Xabi Alonso, Ruben Amorim and Julian Nagelsmann are just a handful of the names that have been discussed. But it now looks like Slot is the front-runner for the job. The 45-year-old has earned a reputation as one of the most promising managers in the game during his 3 years with Feyenoord. With an Eredivisie title and the Europa League runners-up medal under his cap, it's been a pretty successful spell for Slot, and a move to Liverpool could be the natural next step for him. If he is to take charge at Anfield, it's safe to assume the Reds' starting lineup next season will look considerably different. With the Dutchman regularly deploying a 4-2-3-1 formation during his time at Feyenoord, it's safe to assume he'll do something similar at Anfield. Using that formation, here's the starting 11 that could line up at Liverpool next season under Slot. Considering there are very few goalkeepers on the planet that are close to Alisson Becker's level, it would be very surprising if he wasn't the man in between the sticks for Liverpool next season. The Brazilian was the final piece in Klopp's jigsaw that transformed the Reds into one of the most dominant teams in England over the last few years. He's consistently one of the club's best performers, and if Slot wants to get off to a strong start at Anfield next year, he'll stand a much better chance with this man in goal. Right back, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Similarly to Alisson, Liverpool have been blessed with one of the best players in the world at right back. Coming through the club's ranks, Trent Alexander-Arnold has not only become one of the best right backs in Premier League history, but one of the best to ever play for Liverpool. There have been questions raised about his defending in the past, but there's no denying how big an impact he has on the side going forward. Slot would be foolish to even think about replacing him. Centre-back, Virgil van Dijk. He might not be quite the dominant force that he was when he first joined Liverpool in 2018, but Virgil van Dijk is still one of the best centre-backs in the Premier League, and his influence at the heart of the Reds' defence is unmatched. Following Jordan Henderson's departure last summer, the Dutchman has done an excellent job stepping up as the club's new captain. With such an important figure like Klopp leaving, Liverpool will need leaders to help steady the ship, and Slot would be wise to keep Van Dijk in his backline, helping guide the Reds into a new era. Centre-back, Ibrahima Konate. After an initially slow bedding-in process at Anfield following his move from RB Leipzig, Ibrahima Konate has really stepped things up recently, and as a result, he's earned his spot in the team's defense going forward. The partnership he's built with Van Dijk will be very important for the club next year. The defender is still just 24 years old, and with Van Dijk on the wrong side of 30. The former Southampton man will need someone with fresher legs alongside him for protection. Sure, there are options on the transfer market that Slot could turn to, but Konate has done more than enough to hold on to his spot. Left back, Andy Robertson. Like Van Dijk, Andy Robertson's best days are pretty much behind him now, but he's still a solid performer at the very top of the Premier League. Liverpool don't have anyone capable of replicating what he does on that left side of the defense, and it would be quite foolish for Slot to look elsewhere if he is to take charge of the club in the summer. There are few players that better represent the Klopp era at Liverpool, with Robertson's determination and winning mentality making him a huge fan favourite. Replacing him risks more than just losing something at left back. Central midfield, Dominic Szoboszlai was brought to Anfield, and he has done an excellent job turning things around. He has slowed down a little as the year has progressed, but there's no taking away just how well the midfielder has adapted to life in England, considering the money spent on Szoboszlai, how recently he joined Liverpool, and how good he's been for the most part at Anfield. It would be very surprising if Slot doesn't have him in the starting lineup at the start of next season. Central midfield, Orkun Kaku. While Alexis Mac Allister has had a superb start to life at Anfield, the Reds have been linked with a very exciting young midfielder in Orkun Kaku, and he could be one of the first bits of business that Slot attends to if he does take over from Klopp. Labeled the next Luka Modric by former player Mohamed Sissoko, the Benfica man could be a massive addition to the red side. Signing him early on would be a statement of intent from Slot and the club and show that they aren't going to take a massive step back following the departure of their most successful manager in decades. Attacking midfield, Teun Koopmeiners, another player that Slot could bring to Anfield, is one who has just faced off against the Reds in the Europa League. Teun Koopmeiners had significant success against Liverpool as his Atlanta side eliminated them from the Europa League. He has also worked with Slot in the past, with the two spending time at AZ Alkmaar together. A reunion in England seems like a plausible suggestion and, with their successful track record already apparent, it wouldn't be too big a surprise if the attacking midfielder was among Liverpool's starting lineup next year. Right wing, Mohamed Salah. Rumours of his departure from Anfield have been circulating for a while now, with suggestions of a move to Saudi Arabia, but Mohamed Salah still has plenty to offer in the Premier League and has proven that this year as Liverpool engage in a fierce title challenge alongside Manchester City and Arsenal. Following a recent injury, his form has taken a bit of a hit, but if the Egyptian has shown anything over the last few years, it's that he's still got the ability to change a game at the drop of a hat, and with Klopp leaving Liverpool this summer, Slot would be smart to rely on the team's most impressive Premier League player ever to help him settle in. Striker, Darwin Núñez. While his finishing has been questionable at best since his move to Liverpool last year, there's no denying how important Darwin Núñez has been to the club's performances, especially this season in particular. Contributing with both goals and assists, he's had a solid year and the energy he provides to the front line has been undeniable. There are better goal scorers out there, but Núñez's influence in Liverpool's attack stretches far beyond just scoring goals, and considering he's still just 24 years old, he should only keep getting better. Left wing, Luis Diaz. Liverpool have an array of attacking talent that could play on the left-hand side, but the most likely man to be included in the starting lineup next year is Luis Diaz. The Colombian has been superb under Klopp, regardless of the issues he's dealt with away from the pitch at times. Diaz isn't even close to his prime just yet, which should be a scary thought for the rest of the Premier League. The Reds' offense is one of their strongest areas right now, and Slot would be wise to keep it as is.